What's going on, guys? I'm Built, and welcome back to another Minecraft Bedrock tutorial video. In this video today, I'm going to be showing you how to make your very own admin box for your regular world, your realm, or your server. This will work on any of the three, and it is pretty straightforward and simple to do. At the end of the video, I'm going to be showing you how to go in and basically make it where your world still has achievements on it, even though it has been in creative, and even though you can actively put yourself in creative and do admin tasks with creative mode on. Doing these tasks will not affect any of your achievements and will not shut any of them off, and it will always think that the game has never been loaded in creative mode. You can also add a plethora of different options where you can go in and turn off the weather cycle. You can make it to where other members can go in there and turn the server to hard mode if they would like, normal mode. You can set whatever you would like. I'm going to walk you through just about everything that you're going to need in order to set it all up inside of this video. So without further ado, let's jump into it. We are going to head to a spot that not many people are able to see on our personal realm. Now this here is a very small portion of my industrial district, but where we are going is going to be inside of this ugly little sand hut here. All of this used to be a desert, and this is pretty much all that remains. We're going to go in here and come down here to this button here. And once I press this button, this will only teleport me into the admin box. It will not allow anybody else to be teleported into the admin box because the command is specifically for me. So we can go ahead and hit that, and we will be loaded into the admin box here. And as you can see, we have a ton of different stuff inside of here where we can put each other inside of creative mode if we need to, all of our administrators. We can put us back in normal mode. We can change the weather to on or off, change the insomnia for on or off for the phantom spawning. We can put it on hard mode or normal mode. We can do a master reset and reset everything back to normal. We can go ahead and kill a wither if there's any withers that are spawned. And then we have the chat spam on or the chat spam off. That way we can turn off the chat spam. That way it's not popping up and driving everybody crazy. We also have a ticking area command block here to keep all of this alive whenever there is not somebody in the area to load it. And we also have a one-person sleep here. There's also a few other fancy things that you can do with these commands as well, such as this one here. If we press this, this is going to be a warning for whatever members are online at the time. And it's just going to pop up on the screen saying realm offline in 5 minutes to warn everybody. Now, after you press that button, it's going to pop up again in 4 minutes, letting everybody know that there is 1 minute remaining. Please save your progress now. And that's going to be the warning. So we know that we can time from 5 minutes after we hit that button. And then after that, everybody has been warned, and hopefully they have all logged out by then. And then we can shut the realm down and do whatever maintenance we need to. We also have a door here, and the door consists of complete bedrock, which is the entire box all the way around here. Even though this is all decorated, there is a complete box of bedrock all the way around this entire thing, and there is no way that anybody can really get into this box, and it is pretty well hidden as well. Now, one thing that you will notice is there is a bunch of netherite blocks all the way around here, diamond blocks and everything, and none of this has been achieved legitimately. And my recommendation is you can put it in creative mode and decorate the inside of this however you would like. However, never allow anything from creative mode outside of that door. If you take anything from creative mode outside of that door, you are going to ruin your gaming experience completely. And once you give yourself netherite and diamonds, it might be cool at first, but you're quickly going to lose interest in the game. So have self-discipline using this. Make sure that you are not going to be taking anything that you are not earning in survival mode, and make sure that all of your administrators that you trust to be inside of this room as well are going to do the same thing, and make sure that they are only going to be using this for legitimate purposes. Now, one of the main reasons why you're going to want to put yourself in creative mode is if we go ahead and put us in survival and we come over here, we can go ahead and click on these command blocks all we want, and it will never allow us to access the command blocks or change any of the commands inside of them, which is very handy if you have any of these outside of the command box here to where you want to teleport yourself, say from your base area down here, or vice versa. So if somebody were to actually find your command block that is hidden, hopefully, then they cannot do anything with it aside from break it. And there's that 4-minute timer that we just reached. So that's popping up in 1 minute. However, if somebody were to find your command block outside, then you will not be able to do anything with it aside from break it or aside from power it with redstone with something such as a button. The only thing that's going to happen if you have a teleport command block that's going to teleport you down here is if somebody finds it, they're going to probably prank you, press the button, and teleport you down to the admin box. So it's really not that big of a deal. However, they'll never be able to change the command, and they will never be able to teleport themselves down here inside of the survival world. Now, behind this door, it is pretty simple. All this back here is just a bunch of command blocks, and we have a few chain command blocks over here as well. So it is fairly simple to straight up and just plugging in the commands. We have this one over here, which is one's responsible for opening and closing the door. And basically all this is a sorting system that's going to pull down a item through a hopper mine cart. And we basically have this to where we can throw a key card on the ground and gain access into here. And whenever the key card comes down into here, it's going to run a fill command, which is going to fill all of these bedrock blocks here with air, which is going to delete them, allowing the player to walk through, and then they can pull their key card out of here. Now, if something were to fall into here, it's going to go into this chest because the sorter is not going to pull it down. You only have to have the specific key card, which is going to be this one here. And for the key card, we have a tripwire hook that is renamed. I'm not going to show the renamed hook for obvious reasons. However, that's what you're going to need, is to rename it with very specific characters and spaces in order to allow to have a secured key. You want to make a few copies of that key, and then once you throw that key down in here, it's going to detect it inside of the sorting system. And this is basically your basic Impulse SV sorting system. It's just modified to fit inside of this area here. Once it detects that item, it's going to pull it down inside of that barrel. And once there is an item inside of this barrel, it's going to be detected by this comparator here, which is then going to power this block. Now this is kind of a on-off toggle here. So whenever this is powering this, is going to power this command block. However, whenever it's not powering it, this torch will turn on and it's going to power this one. So now that we have powered that, you can see that our door has opened because it has filled these blocks here. And then if we go ahead and take the item out, we have a delay circuit set in inside of the door close. And that delay circuit's basically going to delay it in ticks before it runs, giving us enough time to grab our item and make our way out. And then it's going to close up shortly behind us. And then with it being bedrock, you can never break it and get through here at all. This makes it to where this entire thing is completely surrounded by bedrock, and you are able to basically have a complete bedrock box that nobody can access. Well guys, I think that's about enough jibber jabber. Let's jump into the tutorial, and we're going to create a new world, and then we will start making our very own admin box from scratch and walk you through it step by step. Let's go. The very first thing that we're going to do is create a new world here, and we're going to go create world. We are going to name this world tutorial, and then we are going to take this and we're going to put it on creative mode. Achievements are going to be turned off. That is absolutely fine. We're going to be fixing that here later. Now, you don't have to make a new world in order to do this. We're just doing this for tutorial purposes. You can do this on a pre-existing world. But regardless what you're going to be doing, you are going to go to your world, and let this load up real quick. We can go ahead and jump back out of here. And then we can go ahead and go to this tab here to edit this world. We're going to scroll all the way down here to the very bottom. And then we are going to click copy world to make a copy of this world. You are definitely going to want to do this if you are doing it on a pre-existing world. That way, if you mess up, you don't lose all of your stuff. Make sure that you make enough copies. That way you always have one to fall back on. So next we are going to jump into this one here that says copy of tutorial. And as noted, we can look here and we have this little bar that says achievements cannot be earned in this world. I want you to pay special attention to that because we are going to be changing that inside of the later bits of this video. So let's go ahead and load up this world here. And we got a nice little seed here, and something that I have noticed right away, we got a shipwreck. This probably shouldn't be part of the video, but I am very curious in exploring this thing. It's not very often that you have this shipwreck just wash up on the shore. Normally they are under the ocean. Oh, wow, is there anybody in here? No? Anything good? Treasure map? Nope, I don't feel like a treasure hunt. All right, let's go and probably find spawn again. So the easiest way to do that is to put ourselves in survival mode, and then we go splat. Dude, really? World spawn is in a tree? Dude, you're joking, right? Like legit, that's where I spawned, and it's not even a good oak tree either. It's one of these horrible, heinous, tall oak trees. Okay, anyways, this is about where we spawn, so I'm just going to make the spawn chunk here the area where all of our ticking blocks are going to be located. I'm going to run a few commands first to keep things pleasant inside of this video. So first I'm going to do gamerule, do weather cycle, and we're going to do false. That's going to keep it from raining on my head, which is a very good thing. We're also going to run a command for always day, which is going to keep it always daytime. And we will always have the sun directly above us, which is also good for video. And since we are underground, I'm going to be giving us an effect. It's going to be at self, and we are going to give us night underscore vision. And then we're going to do 9999, so it will last a good long time. And now we have night vision and we'll be able to see underwater and underground, so that is very nice. Next, what we need to do is find the chunk border. Now, what I would recommend is an amazing pack that is made by Foxynotail, and it's a resource pack, so it's not going to change achievements in your world or anything like that, and it's very handy with doing any kind of redstone builds or any kind of things that you need to align chunks for. I use this all the time, and it works absolutely fantastic. The link for the resource pack on Foxynotail's website is going to be down inside of the description below, or you can use other means to find chunk borders. I will also post a link in the top right now to a shorts video that I made that's less than a minute long, showing you how to find chunk borders using the leaf method. All you do is gather up some leaves. You can place them inside of a line, and then you just toggle your setting inside of one of your menus, and it will actually help you find chunk borders. Weird, I know, bedrock, kind of silly, but it works flawlessly and it's very easy to do. So if you're unsure and you don't want to download the resource pack, then go ahead and check that out. If not, the resource pack is down below. Just give Foxy a huge thank you, because the amount of work that went into the resource pack along with all of his other resource packs is incredible, and he does a great amount for the Minecraft Bedrock community. So thanks, Foxy. So inside of this resource pack, we already have it enabled. All we need to do is go ahead and scroll down here. And forgive me, it's my first time playing Minecraft. I need to find me a banner, and then I'm going to find me a armor stand. We're going to place down a armor stand right over here to where we spawned. Let's see, what tree was that I broke? Right here, that's where I spawned. So we're going to go ahead and place down the armor stand here. That way we can isolate this junk here. We're going to give this armor stand a banner, and then we're going to click on it twice, which is going to highlight the chunk border all the way around here. So this chunk border is going to be our spawn chunk here, and we are going to make it to where this one is always active, turning this into a ticking area. However, if we go too far away from this armor stand, it's going to unrender, and as soon as it unrenders, we are going to lose all of our chunk lines. Since we are way up high inside of the world, by the time we get all the way down to bedrock, we are going to have this guy unrendered, so we're going to have to place another armor stand down below. There's a couple ways you can do that. You can dig down straight down if you would like, or you can teleport yourself straight down and hopefully you can find yourself a cave. We'll see how lucky we get. If not, we can just dig out our own cave. We're going to go down to level 62. And whoa, would you look at that? I found a pretty decent cave under here. So I turned on coordinates and it only teleported me down to 31. I guess there's not any more caves down below this point, which is fine. I'm just going to dig down to about level 64, just about to the top where we find bedrock here. And we are going to place in, let's go up probably from the top of bedrock. We'll probably go up 10 blocks. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10, just to give us plenty of room. And we want to make sure that we are staying in the chunk to where we go straight down. So we'll go ahead and place this down here, give him a banner. Then we are going to crouch and click on him twice to change his pose. And then we have this entire chunk highlighted. Now you really can't tell right now because we are not able to see any of the chunk borders. But as soon as we teleport ourselves down below, you'll be able to see it quite clearly. So what we need to do is / teleport, and then we are going to do tilde, and then we are going to do teleport down to -66, and then another tilde, and then we will run that command, and then we are down below underneath the world here. So now that we are down here, you can see that we have our chunk lines down here, and that's going to basically highlight the chunk that is going to be our spawning chunk. So what we need to do now is start clearing out the bedrock. So we are going to run another command. So what we need to do is find out which direction is going positive. So if we go this direction, you can see that my negative is going towards the positive numbers. So that is good in that direction. And if we turn left, this one's going towards the negative. So we need to turn around here. So now since we turned around, our Z is going up. So it's going positive there. And then it's going positive there. This is going to make it easier to run the commands because you don't have to deal with any kind of negative numbers. And you know that this direction is positive and that direction is positive. So you can just write in positive commands and it makes it a lot easier for you. So what we need to do is go to this very most corner here, and we're going to dig up and probably dig up by 2 to where we hit our head as soon as we dig up. Now, if you are inside of the void and you are below level 64, then you're not going to be able to run any commands. So if we try a fill command, and then we do like 1, 1 and 1, try and fill with air, it's not going to run because we cannot place any blocks outside of the world. So you want to make sure that you are at level 64 or above. So you want to make sure that you are at level 64, and then you are going to run this command. You're going to place a / and then you're going to run fill tilde tilde tilde, which is going to mark the player's location. Then you're going to tilde, and then you're going to go 15 right after that tilde. Then you're going to do another tilde, which is going to mark your height access. So from here we are going to go up probably 5, and then we're going to do another tilde with another 15. So we're clearing out a 16 by 16 area. I have already cleared out the one block that I'm standing in, and it's not going to count the block that I'm standing in, so we're only going to clear out the entire chunk inside. So what we need to do now is tell it what we need to fill, and we are going to fill this with air. And as soon as we hit that, we are going to have a nice big open area that we can work with, along with some diamonds here. And then what we need to do is go all the way around this room and completely fill in all of the sides with bedrock. So now that we have all of the sides filled up with bedrock, it's going to make it where nobody can get inside of this admin box. So now what we want to do is find the corner that we were at to where it goes positive in both directions. So we have positive in that direction, and it's going towards the negative in that direction. So it's going to be this corner here, positive there, and then positive on the Z as well. So we want to go up here, and we're going to remove this block here and this block here, and go up by 2 if I don't fall into the void. And then we are going to run another fill command, except this one we are going to do fill tilde tilde tilde. Then we're going to do tilde with a 15, a normal tilde for the Y value with no other numbers after it, and then another tilde 15, which is basically going to make a one tall platform that's going to be 16 by 16. Now we want to fill this with bedrock, and then go ahead and run that command. We can come down here, and as you can see, we have a nice bedrock roof, and this thing is completely filled up. Now the only thing left that we need is going to be a floor, so we can come down here to -64. We can go to the exact same corner that we just ran that command in, and we're going to run this command as well. That's going to place down a nice floor, and now we have a lot of room inside of here for a bunch of activities. Now I would recommend putting in a command block for every command that you want to run inside of your Realm server or regular Minecraft world. The reason being is if you try to run any command from your hotbar here whenever you are inside of your Realm in survival mode, it's going to say that cheats are not enabled inside of the world, as you saw before, and you're not going to be able to run any. So you want to make sure every single thing that you want to run is going to be inside of a command block. What you're going to do next is get yourself some command blocks. You cannot get any command blocks from the menu. You actually have to run a command to get the command blocks. So what you're going to do is / for commands, and then you're going to do give @self, and then you're going to put command _ block, and that's going to give you a command block. Now the very first thing that you're going to want to do is to place in a command block where you can make all of this a ticking area. So what you're going to want to do is, what I like to do is break a area inside of the floor and then just place that down like that. And then it's kind of out of the way. You can make a ticking area without the command block, but as I mentioned, I like to have the command blocks. That way you can go back and edit it if you like. And you're basically going to click on here. We're going to put a hover node in here for ticking area. And once you go over this with the hover note, you can see it says ticking area. It's nice to label all these because once you have this all full of command blocks, and you probably will, then you know which command blocks do what. Now we are going to come back to this and fill up the commands here in a moment, but what we need to do is take down some coordinates first. So you're going to want to pick any two corners that you would like. However, the corners need to be opposed to each other. So if you pick this one, for instance, then you need to do that one across as well. It cannot be one of those two. You're going to want the furthest corner from you whenever you're standing in this corner. So we're going to mark down our coordinates here. Now it is important that you double check the coordinates and make sure that they are exactly the right coordinates, and the very center number, which is going to be your Y coordinate, does not matter. So you can just place a 0 for that. And the only ones that you really need is the first one, which is going to be your X, and the last one, which is going to be your Z. X being -176 and Z being 128. So now since I've marked these down, I'm going to go all the way across and I'm going to mark these down as well. So I marked down -161 for the X, and then I have 0 for the Y and 143 for the Z chord. So now that I have my chords, now I can put them inside of this command block here. So I'm just going to go to the command input. We're going to do / ticking area, and then we're going to do a space, add, then another space, and then we are going to type in our coordinates. You want to double check these and make sure that these are correct. And then you want to put impulse, unconditional, and needs redstone. Now this one does not constantly need to run. What you're going to do is leave needs redstone on. You can go ahead and grab you a button of your choice and just place it on here. You can leave it on here or take it off, but all you need to do is press that button, and then that's going to make the chunk that you are standing in into 1 of 10 ticking areas. And basically 1 of 10 means that you can have up to 10 different chunks ticking at one time, meaning that they're going to always be loaded regardless of where the players are. Now, just because a chunk is loaded, that means that all of your redstone and stuff like that is going to work. However, keep in mind, if you don't have a player around, you're not going to have any mob spawning or anything like that unless they are already there, spawned, and have a persistent tag inside of their NBT data. So you're not going to have to worry about creepers or anything building up unless you have a player over here, in which if you do, whenever the player leaves, they will all despawn anyways. So the very first command that we are going to be placing in is going to be one for the one person sleep. And whenever we're doing the command block wall, I like to give us a little bit of space. So we're going to space these out, probably 4 blocks, 1, 2, 3, and 4. And then we can go ahead and grab us another block. Let's go ahead and do some deep slate brick. And we're just going to run a border all the way across this room. All of our buttons and such are going to be on here, and then all of our command blocks are going to be back here. That way we have plenty of room for all of our commands to go on. So we're going to go back over here inside of this corner. Now this one does not need any input from the player, so I'm not going to have it next to the wall. I'm just going to pack it away over here in the corner, and we're going to have that one facing up. Now with command blocks, it's very important if you plan on running a chain meaning that you have one command and you want them to fire one after the other in a chain, then you need to have all the arrows facing into the next block next to them. Or else if you have one that is like this facing up, and then you have a few facing like this chain will never run because this block is searching for a block above it, not to the side of it. So just like any other redstone stuff, like the comparator, observer, or anything like that, these are directional, and you need to make sure if you intend to run a chain command that you have all these facing the proper orientation. So I'm going to have this one facing up. That way, if I ever want to go back here and add like a reset weather or something like that, I can go ahead and place another one on top, and then it's just going to run a chain going up. So what I'm going to do is focus on the bottom one for now, and I'm going to type in the one person sleep command. So what you're going to do is /, and what we want to do is execute, and we are going to execute at the player. So we need to execute at a entity, and we're going to do @e to do that. We're going to do brackets, and then we are going to type equals, and then player, which is going to distinguish what entity we want to target. And then what are we targeting? We are going to target the player's location. So we're going to do ~, which is going to tell the game that we are targeting their active location. And then what we want to do at that location, we are going to want to detect. So we're going to type in detect. That way we can detect something where the player's at. And then we're going to do tilde -1, which is going to detect under the player's feet. And then we're going to do another tilde. So what are we trying to detect underneath the player's feet? We are going to try to detect the bed. And then we want to detect when a person is laying in the bed. So we want a -1 there. And then what do we want to do once we detect a player laying inside of the bed? We are going to add time. So we're going to type in time, add, and we're going to have to open this up where we're able to see this. And then we're going to add 100 game ticks every time that the command block ticks. Now, if you wanted this to go by instead of the sky just kind of going around slowly, you can put this like 1000, and then it's going to add 1000 game ticks, and it's going to zoom right on by. However, I'm going to leave it at 100. That seems to be the happy medium to where you get a nice sky scrolling by you whenever you're sleeping. However, it doesn't keep you waiting too awfully long. Now, once you put in that command, what you're going to do is go over here, and we want this block type to be a repeat block type. We're going to leave this on unconditional, and we're going to take this one and put on always active. We're going to leave this on a default 0 ticks of delay, and that's going to keep this one person sleep block always active and always ready to run this command whenever it detects a player inside of a bed. Now, in order to test this out, we're going to want to be able to look at the sky. So let's make another command block that's going to teleport us up into the air. So we're going to go all the way to the side here. We're going to place down another command block, probably right here where it's out of the way. That way we can press a button on the back side here, and we'll be able to engage this command block. We're going to go here, and we are going to teleport us directly up. So on the same X and Z value, and on the Y value, we're going to do probably about 150. That way we teleport up higher. We can always change this to ground level. That way you don't splat if you're in survival mode. You just need to find out what ground level is. So we're going to go back and we're going to type in teleport, and then you're going to do your name and then a space, tilde, 150 for the height, and tilde again. Then you want this on impulse, unconditional, and needs redstone whenever it has input from the redstone button. And then we can just put XRS built, teleport to surface, and then that's going to give us a hover note as well. We can go over here and hit that, and it's going to teleport us way up high. Now we can actually find where our value is. So we're at level 65. So next time we go down there, we can go ahead and change that. That way we don't splatter if we're in survival mode and we hit that button. So what we're going to do is just set up another quick teleport button here. We're going to make it kind of hidden where nobody will know where it's at for demonstration purposes. We'll place it down here, and then we are going to type in our command here. Teleport XRS built. And then I need to get the coordinates here. So 175, 131. And then that's going to teleport us. We can just cover that up with some grass blocks, put a button on it, and then we'll be able to teleport back and forth. Now this one we do need to change to a height of 65. That way we don't go splat if we are in creative mode. And now whenever we teleport, we'll be able to teleport to ground level, just like that. And that's a lot easier on the kneecaps. So now we need to double check a few things. And what we need to do in order to double check a few things is make sure that the ticking area works. There's a few ways to do that, but a nice visual way to do that is to go ahead and grab you a sticky piston, a block of redstone, some redstone dust, and then it probably makes it a little bit easier if you use a spyglass as well. And what we're going to do is we are going to go inside of this chunk boundary here to where it is actively ticking. And we are going to place down a sticky piston here with a redstone block on top of it, a solid block there with a piece of redstone there. So that's constantly going to have that running, and since it's inside of the ticking area, this one should never shut off. However, if we have this one over here that is not inside of the ticking area, we can place that down there. Regular block there, a redstone block there. Now we have two clocks that are constantly running. Now if we go all the way back here to where we go out of my simulation distance, it's no longer going to simulate that, and one of those should stop moving. So if we use our spyglass, and that one seemed to have disappeared. Let's see, we can go back a little more. There we go. So that one stopped running, and that one is still running, and that's exactly what it should do because that chunk is now unloaded, and it will actively keep things loaded in that chunk because of the ticking area. So at this point, now that we have verified that the ticking area is actually working, we can go ahead and remove all of this because we no longer need that. And then we can go ahead and test the one person sleep. So we can grab a bed. Then we're going to place down a bed, and then we're going to jump on the bed. Now you might be wondering how I'm going to sleep if it is in the middle of the day, and what I'm going to do is jump up and down on the bed, and whenever I do that, you start seeing the sun scroll across the sky very, very quickly until it gets to nighttime. You can go ahead and sleep, and then it's going to scroll all the way around till morning, then it will pop you up out of bed. Now there is a few things that we need to fix. There is the command feedback. We're going to be taking care of that here shortly. And if you would like, you can make this to where you can only sleep at nighttime, and jumping on the bed at daytime will not work. The way that you're going to do that is run the exact same command inside of a command block. Then you are going to grab yourself a redstone comparator, and then you will also want to grab you a few daytime sensors. And what you're going to want to do is place down a comparator going into that command block, a comparator going into the side of that command block, and then you're going to do a regular daylight sensor here and a daylight sensor here, except on this one here, you're going to want to hit the left click on that, turning it into one that can detect the night mode. And then this setup will keep you from being able to sleep during the daytime. However, you're going to want to change a couple settings inside of here. You're going to want to have this one as a repeat command block, unconditional, and on this one here, instead of always active, you're going to want to have this on needs redstone. And then that's going to allow you to only sleep at nighttime whenever you are able to. Now, the one thing with this design is these daylight sensors do have to be able to see the daylight outside. So you're going to want to have this set up above to where they can detect the sunlight or the moonlight. If you want to have this inside of your world, I highly suggest putting this like 100,000 blocks away. That way there's no chance of any player ever really going over and finding it. And you can even hide it in bedrock if you would like, or put it up at sky level. However, keep in mind you're going to want to do this wherever you have a ticking area. That way it is always loaded. For me personally, I like having it underground, and I don't care if I can only sleep at nighttime. I would much rather have it to where I can sleep anytime at all. And it's a nice feature because if you're sitting here at daytime and waiting to sleep, you could just jump on the bed until it's time to sleep. Or if you're working on a phantom farm or something like that and you actually want it to be nighttime, then you could just skip through the day real quick and then you are good to go. Then whenever you're ready, you can just jump inside of that bed and stand on it, sleep, and you will fast forward through the night, and then it will be daytime after that. Now the next thing is you do have to be standing on the bed whenever you are using this. If you are over here to the side, let me fast forward to nighttime once more. If you are standing on this bed and you go ahead and lay down from the side, it's not going to fast forward and it's going to go into the normal sleep mode. However, you can see we just popped up and we have not slept at all, and the night is still very much here. So if you want this to actually fast forward, you need to be standing on the pillow. Go ahead and lay down and it will fast forward through it and activate that command block. I don't know what we're witnessing over there, but man, look at that. Man, what kind of skeleton are you? You're over here trying to kill a baby turtle. Get out of here. Get off my beach. Off my beach. It's all right, little turtle buddy. I got you. Now that we are back down here, we can go ahead and go back over here to our one person sleep. And what we're going to want to do is go to the very top one here. Now this one is totally optional and you can really do whatever you want with it. You can make this to where it'll pop up with text. You can make it to where it will clear the weather, which this one I'm going to show you how to clear the weather. So we're going to do weather clear and we're going to go to our command. We're going to do the exact same thing. We're going to / weather clear, and then that will clear the weather whenever this command runs. We are going to change this from impulse to chain command because it's going to run in the chain. We are going to put this on conditional. Conditional basically means that the command block before this one in the chain has to be able to successfully run its command before this command block will run. So we want this to be on conditional. Then we want this to always be active. That way it's waiting for the command block before it. We're going to leave this on the default 0 tick delay. That way it instantly clears the weather. And then we can go ahead and test this one out. We'll go over here, teleport up to the surface. We can go ahead and put in a thunderstorm real quick. And as soon as we do that, we can throw down another bed up here. And since it's thunderstorming, we can go ahead and sleep. And that's going to sleep away the thunderstorm and then clear all of the rain as well. However, I do not particularly care for doing it this way. I like to have it to where I can manipulate the weather inside of the server by myself. And the reason for that is with how the weather is set up, every time that it clears, it seems like it's the next day inside of the Minecraft world that it just starts to thunderstorm again. And it makes it to where it's basically always raining and thunderstorming inside of your server, which is very depressing. So I don't particularly care for that. So typically I don't reset the weather whenever I sleep inside of the Minecraft world. I do, however, like the ability to reset the weather. So what I do in order to do that is I place down another command block. So we can go ahead and put a command block down here. And then we're going to put a button over here on the side, which apparently I've misplaced my buttons. And then we'll place this right here. And then we're going to plug in a command here to clear the weather. So just like before, we're going to do weather clear. If I can type, and then we're going to run the command / weather clear, which is going to clear the weather. We want this on impulse, unconditional, and we want needs redstone with a no tick delay. And then we can go ahead and hit this button, and that's going to clear the weather for us and set it to clear.